Thanks for staying with us. Now, disability advocate and model Esihle Mhluzi is on a quest to infiltrate spaces that aren't designed for girls with disabilities. In September, she took part in the Free State Fashion Week, walking for fashion designer Gert-Johan Coetzee. Mhluzi believes this was a huge opportunity for the disabled community. She joins me now to discuss this further. Thank you so much for your time, Esihle. We do appreciate it. I want to start off by asking you how you feel having been in that space, given that there are a lot of limitations and people sometimes overlook the potential and capabilities of those with disabilities.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for having me, first of all. I think mine is just to infiltrate spaces that were not necessarily designed for girls who look like me. And the fact that now we're reaching a milestone and we're coming closer to achieving that, to dismantling status quo and redefining our narratives on our own terms, I think that's incredible for me. And I think it brings true to what it is that we're trying to do with this movement.
Tell us how you got into being a part of the Free State Fashion Week and how you got to cast for the SA fashion designer Gert-Johan Coetzee, especially because of these limitations. It's amazing and fascinating to see how designers like Gert-Johan Coetzee see the potential that you have. I mean, we're actually showing some visuals of you now casting your walk. So tell us how you got into all of that.
I think firstly, I'd like to thank Miss Candy Smith, because I think without her opening that door for me, I think I wouldn't be here today. So I think it takes incredible individuals like that who see the vision beyond what it is today to understand that actually there is a space for us and that our brilliance actually speaks for ourselves beyond what we look like. Because I always speak about how our dreams don't care about our backgrounds, they don't care about what we look like, but rather the validity of them, and we need to be entrenched in that and take that forward. So I think for me it speaks to the people that were around me that allowed me for this that allowed this opportunity rather to manifest. But also I believe I've always been rooted in an industry like this, and mine has always been to make it on mainstream media, irrespective of what I look like. So I think again, people like Candy Smith, people like Gert-Johan Coetzee, who actually see and understand the vision, on top of the fact that I am already brilliant. I think all of that coupled together kind of made it possible, and I hope that it's going to be possible for the next generation of people who look like me. And I hope that I've been the sacrificial lamb and I've opened the door for many others who want this opportunity as well.
Certainly. I want to ask you about how difficult it is for you to move into these spaces. Do a lot of doors get slammed in your face because of your disabilities and people thinking that you aren't capable when you are more than capable and probably even more? But tell us how difficult the journey has been for you and how people basically sideline you because of your disability.
Absolutely. I mean, for me, I think I'm just grateful enough to have the resilience to actually be persistent in everything that I try to pursue. But I cannot count the amount of times I've been alienated, the amount of times I've been undermined by virtue of being in a body like mine. So I think just by being a disabled body, we always have to overcompensate and jump through hoops just to be recognized and honored on spaces such as these. So I think for us, we just need to work 10 times harder, and it's just unfortunate. But again, these tables are ours to be seated in as well. We deserve a seat at a table, at the same table that everyone else, or rather that our able-bodied counterparts enjoy as well.
Certainly. And, you know, you say something quite heartbreaking, that you have to work 10 times harder. And I fail to understand why that should be the case, because you are absolutely beautiful and you have just as much capability and abilities to do probably more than I can do, as I've mentioned. But I want to ask you about how people treat you when you are in spaces like this, when you got to walk on that runway and you got to model. Do you feel as though people almost pity you and feel sorry for you, and how do you deal with that? How do you make them feel and believe that I'm more than capable and my disability is not going to be a limitation?
I think for me, Heidi, I'm way beyond the limitations that people have
Mm.
placed on myself on me by virtue of being in a body like mine. So I think any limitation or any barriers that they place is a them thing. I'm always rooted in my brilliance. I'm very unwavering in how incredible I think I am, how talented I think I am. So as much as me being in those spaces is a bit of a shocker for people, the minute I am on that ramp, the minute I open my mouth, the minute I pursue the things I pursue, it makes sense because my brilliance speaks for itself.
Certainly. And just lastly, Esihle, maybe just a word of advice for those out there who want to do the same but are limited in some way or another, and they feel as though they can't enter and infiltrate these spaces because of their disabilities. What advice do you have for them?
I just think it's really important to redefine your capabilities on your own terms. I think taking control of our own narratives is important, and just pursuing what we want to pursue as authentically as we possibly can. I mean, we can achieve anything, and it's time for the world to adjust to that, as opposed to us trying to fit into a world that's been inherently designed to be exclusionary towards us. So I think it's time for us to be very unapologetic in the things that we pursue.
Fantastic, and we wish you all the very best. I know you are going to
Thank you.
continue to do exceptionally well, and don't let anybody tell you otherwise. That was disability advocate
Thank
and
you so
model
much.
Esihle Mhluzi, just speaking to us about her opportunity to be on the catwalk despite her disability and not allowing that to get in the way of her dreams and hopes.